Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Welcome back to another evening show, another late evening show at 10 p.m. PSG are the Champions League winners for the first time in their history. Congratulations to them, to be fair. I mean, you can't deny that they've built a great squad. They got great recruitment. They've had great investment. They got a great manager, and they had great support from the fans as well. Everything about that club just tells me that it's going to be a successful club in the future. I mean, they've not only set themselves well short term, but long term as well. They're going to have a lot of success. So yeah, big up to Luis Enrique. I mean, he could have been our manager. We've got Maresca anyway, but yeah, he's had a lot of success now, hasn't he? And he's won the treble in his second season. So that's unreal. We're going to be going through all of the latest Chelsea news, guys. We're going to be going through all of the latest transfer news as well. There are a few things that have happened regarding the contract situation of some of the players that we have at the moment. But one thing I really want to speak about is, well, it's an important issue to a lot of fans, is the ticket pricing at Chelsea, the situation regarding the general admission pricing for next season. And all of that information has now come out. I did a video on this not long ago, and yeah, we're going to talk about it on the live. We can go into details, and if anyone has any questions as well, let me know. And we're also going to be speaking about potential contract extensions. Got a couple of players linked with moves away, and as always, there you go. Big up to DJ Fantasy. Good to see you, mate. Good to see Jessica in as well. That might be us in a year, I wish. I hope so. Not sure if that will be us winning the Champions League next year, but we'll certainly be in the competition. Thanks for the kind message, mate. Appreciate it. Bollocks, the real fans. What the fuck? I think you're reacting to the ticket price increases, presumably. Congratulations, PSG, but especially my Moroccan brother, Ashraf Hakimi. He's a great player. It's true. It is true, mate. I'm guessing you talk about the ownership. Yeah, I mean, let's dive into it, guys. Let's dive into it. And if you have any questions as well, let me know. We've got about 50 of you in here straight away. Let's get up to 50 likes, guys. Let's get straight up to 50. We are currently on 10, so we're 40 away from the target. Big up to all of you that are tuning in. Yeah, so let's start off with, if we actually go on the Chelsea website, there is updates from that, and then we can also dive into the Chelsea Supporters Trust, and we can look at the pricing as well for season tickets next season. Now, prices have already gone up under Clear Leaks. This is not the first time it's happened, but there seems to be relatively mixed opinions. Yeah, there's obviously the level-headed opinion, and then you've got the fans who just think it's a disgrace that prices are going up. I'm in the middle of that. I don't really believe that prices should be raised every season, but I understand why they've done it. And we all knew they were going to do it as well. So yeah, let's go through what they had to say on Chelsea's website. The general admission pricing for the 25-26 season following consultation with the Chelsea Fan Advisory Board. Chelsea Football Club can today confirm the men's first team general admission ticket pricing for the 25-26 season, including the introduction of a new youth concession. Following extensive consultation with the Chelsea Fan Advisory Board, known as the FAB, With the club taking many of the FAB's recommendations, the cost of a single match general admission ticket will increase by 4% this year, with a 3% reduction in the season ticket holder discount versus the cost of purchasing each match individually. So there'll be a 3% reduction in the season ticket holder discount. Right. Okay. This equates to an average increase of £3 per match for season ticket holders. A £1 booking fee will also be introduced for each single match on general admission across all competitions. No booking fee will be charged on season ticket purchases. We understand the potential impact of price rises for some fans, and so the club has taken the decision to extend our payment plan offer from 8 months to 10 months to support those who need. So let's just go based on what we've read so far. So season tickets prices are going up, and if you remember, the prices are going up as well. And they're going to introduce a £1 booking fee, which, to be honest with you, I don't see any point. That is just another way for them to get more money from everyone. And that's why that booking fee has been introduced. So it's just another thing you have to pay for alongside everything else. No reason for there to be a booking fee, in my opinion. Absolutely no reason. In terms of the £3 per match increase for season ticket holders, I think it's honestly, I think there's an argument to make for that because we're in the Champions League, and they were always going to do it. They were looking to do it. I mean, they wanted to do it. Did they want to? When did the prices go up? Prices didn't go up 2 seasons ago, but they did last season, and they've gone up again. So this is the second consecutive season that the prices have gone up. The second consecutive season. So yeah, that's where they are, and then they're extending the payment plan offer from 8 months to 10 months to support those who need it. Which, to be honest with you, is not a terrible thing. That is helping fans if they need to. Although I'd argue if you need 10 months to pay it, irrespective of how much you love following the club, I don't know if you want to put yourself under that kind of financial pressure. Obviously, each to their own. With my season tickets, I just pay them up front, and I do struggle to get the money to pay them up front. But once you've done it, and then you're okay. So I can imagine it's very stressful if you've got a monthly payment plan. You'd literally have no spare cash. A lot of people, if you're doing that. In conjunction with pricing, we have reviewed our concessions policy together with the FAB, the Fan Advisory Board, and welcomed their suggestion to rebalance our existing policy to make tickets more accessible for younger supporters. We have incredibly loyal fans and want to make sure that spirit and commitment to the club is passed on to future generations. We will therefore be introducing a new youth concession with a 25% discount applied for those aged between 20 and 22 to allow greater access to games for our younger supporters. The FAB have been strong advocates for this review, and we are grateful to them for their contribution and insight. To facilitate this, the senior concession qualifying age will rise to 66 in line with the state pension age, and for domestic cup and European games, the concession will be reduced to 25%, which was previously 50%. So there's been a 50% reduction for the older fans. We have also refreshed the club's membership proposition this year to provide greater ticket security for our fans, to reward loyalty and diversity, and diversify our offering. More information about changes to our membership options will be available in the coming days. The club is making final preparations for the season ticket renewal window, which will open on Wednesday, the 4th of June. Information for women's... Wait, when? The club is making final renewal window. 4th of June is when that happens. Okay, that's important because I don't want to miss that. Information for the women's first team, general admission ticket pricing policies and renewal process will follow shortly. A CFC spokesman said, "We are grateful to our fan advisory board for their collaboration on our ticketing proposition for next season and are pleased to be introducing many of the recommendations made by them. As a club, our priority is to ensure we are making the right decisions for the long-term sustainability and success of the club." Neil Beard and Tracy Bowen, who are the co-chairs of the Fan Advisory Board, said this. They said, "This has been an in-depth, constructive consultation process, and we are grateful to the club for their extensive engagement on this issue. The club has listened to our recommendations, and we are delighted to see proposals made by the Fan Advisory Board being introduced next season, including a new junior concession, which the FAB has strongly advocated for. On prices, we work with the club to ensure perspectives and impact on supporters were robustly understood and considered as part of this process. We also appreciate the cumulative impact of price freezes over a number of years, on top of increasing costs for the club and the effect that that has had. The FAB therefore considers that this decision strikes a fair and reasonable balance. The club has our support, and we look forward to continue working closely with them in future to ensure our supporters' views are represented and heard." So that's what the FAB had to say about the ticketing situation. The Chelsea Supporters Trust also come out with a few bits and bobs on that. Now, when we look at the season ticket prices, I'll find that in a second. I'm sure I can find that somewhere. Season tickets. Oh, for fuck's sake. Buy tickets, other ticket information. How to buy tickets, ticket prices. There you go. So these are the ticket prices that we have at the moment. These are the updated ticket prices, to be very clear. You can see this is for next season. So what have we got? These are all season ticket prices. By the way, if you are a season ticket holder of any of the following: East Upper, East Lower Family Centre, West Lower, Matthew Harding Upper, Matthew Harding Lower, Shed Upper, Shed Lower, please comment and tell me how much these prices have gone up since you from this season and what it's going to cost next season. So how much more money are you paying? Me personally, I'm a season ticket holder in Matthew Harding Lower, so you can see that particular price is $880. If you're a senior and you're 66 or older, it's $440. If you're under 20, it's $440. If you're under 23, it's $660. That's a shame, because I used to actually be there. I could have got that. Fucking hell. Anyway, so my season ticket 2 seasons ago was £750. It then got raised to £810 this season, and now they're going to put it up to £880. So we've had 2 increases under Clearlake. In my lifetime, especially while I've been a season ticket holder at Stamford Bridge, I never had an increase under Roman Abramovich. Never, ever had an increase. So that is... look, you're never going to be happy when there's a price increase. But to be honest with you, they can justify it in a number of ways. The stadium size, the fact that we got Champions League football, and you've got a better product now on the pitch. although it's not a better product than what we saw under Thomas Tuchel, is it? So some people will argue that, you know, they've paid less in the past and seen better football. But that is obviously, you know, opinions. And then you've got to remember that everything is just getting more expensive anyway. I mean, this is a brand new thing. So it's not something, it's not something old, is it? It's everybody knows about this stuff. So yeah, that's the price tickets. In terms of memberships, if you want to buy tickets, let me know what you were paying in certain seats as well. This is now what members are paying. To be honest, the prices aren't terrible. I've seen a lot worse. East upper, west lower. West upper is not going to be that. That's the west view, isn't it? Restricted view, MHL lower. Yeah, so those are the prices that they have at the moment. And this is what the Chelsea Supporters Trust, they come out with a letter, which was, you know, if you want to really break it down into bullet points, this is a nice way of looking at it. And this is what the Chelsea Supporters Trust had to say. Chelsea FC is today, this was actually yesterday, announced that general admission pricing for the 25-26 season, following consultation with the Chelsea Fan Advisory Board. The notable details are as follows. The cost of tickets for members will increase by 4%. The total cost of tickets for season ticket holders will increase by 7%. A £1 booking fee will be introduced for each single match across general admission tickets across all competitions. No booking fee will be charged on season ticket purchases. The introduction of a new youth concession with a 25% discount applied for those aged 20 and 22, or between those ages. Senior concession qualifying age will rise to 66. The senior concession discount for domestic cup and European games will be reduced from 50% to 25%. And that's because of the introduction of the new youth concession. So that 25% discount that they're getting is being taken away from the senior concession, which is why it's been reduced from 50% to 25%. That other 25% has gone on the youth concession. There will be new tiered memberships, including a premier membership, which will entitle members to priority access to tickets. Away tickets will now be non-transferable, and I'd love to know what that means. Does that mean you can't email someone a link? I mean, what does that mean? Because that's what we have done. Yeah, I don't really know what that means, to be honest with you. Away ticket allocations have changed and will now be split. Season ticket holders 70% and members 30%. I'll be honest with you. I have no idea why that's happened. I have no idea why they've given season ticket holders 70% of why they're going to give them the majority of the allocation. That doesn't really make sense to me. Members only get 30%. I guess the main reason would be because they want to reward people that have season tickets, but I know a lot of members who are desperate for season tickets and can't get them, and so they really will struggle to get tickets for away games now. So let me know your thoughts on that, guys. I don't really know why they've made it so uneven. I mean, 50-50 would have been okay for me. Obviously I'm a season ticket holder, and you know, from my perspective, it makes it easier to get away tickets, but I don't really understand the thought process there, so I'd like to understand that. Let me know what you think as well. Season ticket holders who sell their match tickets via the ticket exchange will no longer receive the money directly to their account, but will instead receive online credit, which can be used for future ticket purchases. So rather than Chelsea giving you the money back, basically they want you to just buy another ticket. So the money's always going to be with them. And yeah, I mean, this is just not surprising at all. They've done this. They'll make more money. That's the reason they're doing it, because you could take the money back by selling your tickets on the ticket exchange and never buy another ticket at Chelsea. And they've missed out on that money. That's how they'll view it. So now they'll never miss out on any money, even if you sell something on the ticket exchange. The credit will be used for future ticket purchases. There will be a new season ticket waiting list, and there's been no details provided on ticket categorization and prices for home domestic cup and Champions League fixtures. So that is the main juice regarding the ticket situation. I mean, we've gone what the Chelsea have said. We've gone with what the FAB have said, the Fan Advisory Board, and then obviously we've spoken about what the CST have said, the Chelsea Supporters Trust. I want to know what you think as well, guys. How many pricing categories are there this time around? Based on what I can see on the website, it says it's got all the way from category A, category AA to category B. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 categories. And to give you an idea, category G, which is the lowest, Matthew Harding upper is £28, and then you go to category AA, and that goes up to £71. So that's a rough idea of one of the seats and how different it is. Don't mind if it's going to reduce beer costs, but they've gone up to how much is it going up to? Used to be £5.60 for a singer, now it's £7. Oh, I just wouldn't drink. I just wouldn't drink in the ground. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. The beer is crap anyway. Rubbish beer. Stamford Bridge has some of the worst beer I've ever had in my life. Honestly, it's just rubbish. Wouldn't waste my time, mate. I'd rather spend the £7 and give back to the local community by buying, I don't know, a burger in the van or buying a pint at the butcher's hook. At least you're helping a local business out, or a chain which is still a big part of coming to the matches. So I'd rather help those businesses than put the money in the club's pocket in that regard, because it's not worth £7, mate. A beer is not worth £7. I think it's a joke. But I say that at the Butcher's Hook, which is one of the pubs as well, I'm pretty sure they charge about £7 for a pint. But people pay it, don't they? They do pay it. If the Super Cup still existed, the final would be PSG versus Tottenham. What, have they gotten rid of the Super Cup? I thought they were playing the Super Cup. Yeah, PSG were very scary, mate. They looked unreal, didn't they? Absolutely unreal. Probably were, to be fair, look, they probably were saying that. Good evening, Tom. Evening, Alex. What a final that was. I wonder how the loyalty point system is going to work. Reckon it will be the same as it is now. I think they've changed it a little bit. Just if you go back on the video as well, mate, I've spoken about everything to do with the tickets that we know, at least, that's come out. So you're paying 70 more than last year, Michael. That makes sense. The AA games, I think MHL's gone up by like £4. Harry, Alex, sorry, I've missed what you said when Chelsea members are going on sale. Well, I'm pretty sure it's the 4th of June. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's around that time when season tickets and all that are there for renewal. I presume it's going to be the same. So 60-40 before. Why have they changed it to 70-30? So that means 70% of the away tickets are going to season ticket holders and 30% are going to members. Why have they changed that? There must have been complaints for that to have happened. I don't know. Do you guys dislike fans flying in from outside the UK to watch games? I was surprised to feel that sentiment a few months ago. No, I wouldn't say that. I think what people don't like is when people come to the games, tourists, and don't support the team. That's what people don't like. I have no issue with tourists. I have no issue with people coming in from other countries. I think it's brilliant. But what I don't like is when you're sitting there and the guy next to you is flicking through Instagram in the middle of the game and you're like, what are you doing? Even if you don't know the words to a song, I always think it's good, at least when people try and join in. And for me, that's proper support, especially if you're flying over that far. If you're just flying over and here for a vibe, can't say I'm a massive fan, because if you're not really a fan of the team, I would rather have a Chelsea fan in that seat than someone who's not a Chelsea fan. But no, nothing against people that fly in. I mean, I've got a good friend who used to fly in from America regularly, who has a place in London now. And I always respect the fact that people are willing to make that effort. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, as long as you're supporting the team. And that means watching the game as a bare minimum and then making a little bit of noise as well. That is what you want from any fan. I mean, the half and half scarves are a bit weird, but I'll be honest, Matt. Years ago, I was guilty of it. I wear the half and half scarves before. People do it for a memory, because they want to have something to remember the game they went to. So it would be, if it's a big game, it would be Chelsea Arsenal, and they'd remember it like that. So I can understand why people do it. I don't have a massive problem with half and half scarves, but I can appreciate why people don't like it. Andres says, I live in Colorado and I flew into London to attend my first match. Since becoming a fan, since Claudio was the manager, had to pay $1,100 for 2 tickets for a home match against Bournemouth. My God. Oh my God. When did you pay for that? What season? Was that this season? That's another conversation, Paul. That's a very fair point. But if genuine members were willing to pay more, then they probably would get the tickets, wouldn't they? But I don't think they are, which is why the tourists get those seats. Anyway, we're going to go into some of the other news regarding the club at the moment. So don't worry, we're not just sitting here and talking about PSG and ticket prices. There are a number of things we also have to look at as well. Former Chelsea defender Paul Parker said, I would be astounded if Chelsea signed Garnacho. It doesn't make any sense, in my opinion, with the wide players they've got already. Do Chelsea, given the size of their squad and what they've got, do they need someone like Garnacho there who will be expecting to start every single game? Do they need that? And I say absolutely not. We've also had some very strange news coming out from Dwight York, who used to play for Manchester United. He backs Chelsea to sign Cristiano Ronaldo, whose contract is expiring at Al Nassr. He did a bit of a mystic post when I was in Poland, basically saying the journey's at an end or something. But he didn't say I'm leaving Al Nassr, but it kind of sounded like he will. And to be fair, I think he will, because I saw an interaction with him and some of the Al Nassr fans after a game. He thought that they were asking for a signature, but actually they were saying, don't come back, don't renew your contract. They were doing this, but they were saying, don't do it. So I think that he won't renew. I think his relationship with the fan base is not as good as you would have hoped. I think it's pretty disrespectful to say that, to be honest with you. I wouldn't really say anything like that myself, but each to their own. So this is what Dwight York had to say about Ronaldo joining Chelsea. He said, why would you not sign Cristiano Ronaldo? He can still do it with his ambition and ability. If Chelsea are playing the way they can and creating for him, he's still an incredible forward. I see no reason not to. He's better than what Chelsea have currently got up front there. There's probably an argument for that, to be fair. Although I don't know Ronaldo's stats in Al Nassr. He's so old, though. He's going to be 40 years old. Graham Souness was speaking about, he was speaking on the Mail Sport. He said, unlike what I have said about Alejandro Garnacho, I think Dilap has been educated in the correct way. I don't really know what he means by that. Maybe he's talking about his attitude, something like that. I personally think Dilap's a class player. I think he's a good player. And I think that he's a player we should be more excited for. I'm not sitting here saying he's going to, be the man, but I don't understand why people have been complaining about the signing of Dilap. It's like, no, it's a good signing, guys. It's an opportunistic signing, no doubt. Just like Jadon Sancho was. But by the way, we never locked ourselves in with Jadon Sancho either. So that was smart business. And we may keep him, we may not. But I think the money that we've paid for Dilap, we could have easily paid an extra 20 million, an extra 30 million. That's what Ipswich would have demanded for the guys. So, yeah, I'm really, really intrigued to see what he can do for us. Now, it's interesting as well, looking back on the striker situation. Obviously, we know about Dilap. His medical is booked for Monday, so we won't really hear too much until then regarding Dilap. CF Bayern, which is Christian Falk, he's the head of football for Sports Build and Build Sports. He does a lot of stuff in Germany, Bayern especially. Here's what he had to say. In fact, let me share my screen with you now. At the moment, Chelsea hold the best cards in the Ekatike poker. Chelsea are already in dialogue with the players' side and could soon get serious, but Liverpool are also still in the race despite the upcoming record transfer of Florian Wirtz. Now, this is on the daily briefing, so they talk about a number of different situations in Germany, Jonathan Tah being one of them. Obviously, we know Jonathan Tah has gone to Bayern Munich. His contract expires in 2029. That deal is now done. So yeah, I don't think we can talk any more about Jonathan Tah, but Ekatike was still in the race for the guy. He is still very much a yeah. I don't think that there's an issue with signing Ekatike. I think that the issue is how much we're talking about signing him for. Ekatike is obviously a decent player, but Dilap is a decent player who we're signing for 30 million, and you're trying to justify paying almost triple that for a player that, to be honest, before this window, I'd never heard of. I didn't know who Ekatike was. Never seen him play. Couldn't tell you much about him. He's a good player with good stats, and that's about it. But he's only done it under one season. He wasn't this good last year. I can't justify it. For me, it's a no. At that price, £84 million, which is what I'm hearing, it's a fuck no. 70 million would be a no. 60 million would be a no. I would look at paying 50 to 60 million as an absolute max for this player. What has he done to justify being worth any more than that? He's had a good season, and I think honestly at this point, Frankfurt would just be milking us for every penny. So don't let them take advantage of it. Keep the player and hold on to him. They clearly don't want to sell him either, because I think if they were open to selling him, they would probably be willing to negotiate, but I doubt they will. I think they'd probably keep the guy. Why would he leave? I don't know when his contract expires. I can guarantee he's probably got another 2-3 years on there. So I can't, really explain why we would get him. Bring me the victors. I'm with you there. I'm with you there, man. Osimhen, Gyökeres, we would all be happy with both of those players. Stuart thinks that the only way we add another striker is if Jackson gets sold. All of these strikers were linked to a way too overpriced, and there's no way our owners are paying stupid money. You say that, but we have spent a lot of money on players before. But these were proven players. And then we're talking about proven players being worth 60 mil when you bought Fernandes for almost double that and Caicedo for almost double that. Spend the money on Gyökeres. It's much cheaper than Osimhen, especially wages as well. I can't imagine he'll be asking for more than 400 grand, which is what we're seeing from Osimhen. £110K a week at Arsenal. I mean, that is just unreal if we can get that done. So it doesn't make any sense financially. It's just perfect. Just like I'm hearing these rumors about Petrovic and how we're open to selling him for 25 million. I'm like, what? 25 mil? Are you kidding me? He's been one of the best goalkeepers in Europe this season statistically. It's worth 40 at least. And I'd still be pissed if we sold him for 40, just to be clear. I'd still be pissed. 25 million is like pulling my pants down. I just don't get it. There's some players that are just totally undervalued, not just by Chelsea, but just by the football. Chalobah, severely underrated. Petrovic, the same. I mean, we're lucky in that sense that people aren't willing to pay more money because we can hopefully keep hold of them. And it's euros, even worse. It's not even pounds. So there you go. I've watched 1 or 2 games of Gyökeres, to be honest. I've seen 1 or 2 games. I saw him in the City game. That was the one. Yeah, that was the main one, to be fair. And that was, I think he scored a hat-trick in that game. A lot of his goals are in acres of space. No, that's fair. But, I mean, his GA is unprecedented. Even 50% of what he's doing at Sporting would be exceptional for us. He's got like 80 GA. If you're telling me we can get the guy to get 40 in a Chelsea shirt, I think we'd all be chuffed. So I'm not going to complain, even if his drop-off is, in terms of GA, is nothing like what he had in Portugal. 50% of what he's doing would probably still be way better than what anyone else can offer. Stamford Bridge is just another tourist attraction now. The owners claim to respect our hardcore fan base, but they are doing the best to price us all out. Atmosphere is going to die every game. If I'm honest with you, mate, the atmosphere was shocking this season, generally speaking. So, yeah, I don't think that's going to get better. Oh, actually, no, I take that back. It will get better if we compete for trophies. If we are competing for trophies, then it will get much better. And if we're winning games, that's generally how any fan base is, isn't it? Yeah, our home support has been shocking. Even our away support in certain games has been poor. And that is not just because of vivid seats. There are also just fans who are just not particularly supportive. Even people who go regularly. I don't want to shit on any of the Chelsea fans generally, but I've been home and away for a number of years, and I think this is the worst support that we've had this season. I think we had better support away from home last year, and I think we had better support in Potter's season. I think our away support when Graham Potter was here was sensational at times. I remember being, 4-0 down at Man United, and the away end was pumping. We were getting thumped at Arsenal, and we were on fire. Man City 4-0 down, singing the Vialli chant. That was beautiful in terms of a fan base coming together and supporting your team no matter what. And I haven't seen that this season. I haven't seen it, to be honest with you. I haven't seen it. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. Hey, who knows? Anyway, diving into some of the latest stuff that we have seen. We've had another article coming out via The Athletic. That is by Mark Carey. For those of you who haven't seen, you can check that out if you are a subscriber of The Athletic, or you can become a subscriber, or you can just listen to me, because to be honest, I practically read these articles anyway, or at least skim through them to give you an idea of what they're saying. Liam Dilap is still raw himself, but given his relatively young age, he arguably has a higher ceiling in his attacking threat when compared with Jackson. I have to agree with that, based on the fact that I just think he's a more natural finisher. And I think if you're a natural finisher, you're obviously going to score more goals. And I would argue that Dilap would... It depends how much of a chance Maresca gives Dilap, but if he's given an equal chance, unlike Nkunku, then I think Dilap would end up scoring more goals, to be honest with you. But hey, we'll have to wait and see. So the article's all about how he plays, how he'll fit in, and what he'll bring to Enzo Maresca's side. It says the chase for Liam Dilap's signature appears to be over. The Athletic reported on Thursday that Chelsea have reached an agreement over his transfer. A relegation release clause of £30 million means that Dilap is available at a very affordable price. In a season of struggle at Ipswich, the 22-year-old was one of the few players in a blue shirt who stood out in Europe's strongest league. His attributes have been in demand this summer, with a long line of clubs forming a queue for Dilap's services. Having scored 33% of Ipswich's league goals, the fourth highest share of any player, Dilap has often been tasked with generating his own chances with limited service from his teammates. In a counter-attacking Ipswich side, Dilap's powerful driving runs forward have been a theme this season, as he has shouldered much of the attacking responsibility with a return of 10 non-penalty goals at an overall rate of 1 goal every 3 games for his effort. And how many goals has he scored in total? 12 goals, right? So 10 of them were non-pens and 2 of them were pens. One of them was against us. I can't remember who the other penalty was against. If you look at the type of goals he's scoring, it gives you an idea of where he's shooting from and where he's scoring from. So I'll share that with you right now. You can see on screen. So we've got in red where it's goal, and then white where he's had a shot. High quality chances are the bigger circles, and lower quality is the other one. So I'll zoom in a little bit. That might make it easier. So 1 goal outside the box. And then everything else is within the box. But he's getting a few headers on there as well, if I'm not wrong. 11 headers in there. 66 shots, mostly with his right, can shoot with his left. And there you go. So that's where he's scoring most of his goals. Moving on, it also talks about whether it is thumping finishes from range or delicate flicks at the near post. Dilap always looks like he's in a rush to get on the score sheet. A desire to get forward is the bare minimum for a striker, but Dilap's profile is particularly interesting. On one hand, he has something of a throwback, an out-and-out striker who can stand on the opposition backline and spearhead the attack. On the other hand, he is a cultured modern-day forward who likes to drop into deeper pockets of space and drive his team forward single-handedly. Either way, there is a double threat to Dilap's running. The first is the threat he offers with the ball at his feet. Looking at the graphic below, which I'll share with you in a second, there have been plenty of examples of Dilap collecting possession in his own half before bulldozing forward, daring any opposition player to enter his orbit as he heads for the shortest route to goal. So this is the graphic up here. This is the what? Yeah. These are the type of this is when he's got the ball, how he carries the ball. So from when he starts to where he finishes, which is where the arrow is. So generally speaking, they're quite long runs. And a lot of those runs will be on the counter, which I think will change a lot. That's one thing I am worried about. How will he adapt to playing in a team where Enzo Maresca has said, I don't like my team counterattacking. He doesn't believe counterattacking is a good thing. He thinks it makes us vulnerable. That's why we don't really counterattack anymore. The volume of driving runs is made more stark when comparing Dilap's progressive carries to his centre forward peers in the Premier League. To go with it, no player has a higher average distance in meters per carry than him. Quite simply, Dilap is difficult to stop when he collects the ball. He often has only one thing in his mind. And you can see in terms of his ball carries how he does. This is what he does when he has the ball. That's to give you an idea. Progressive carries per 90. So at the bottom, you can see obviously Chris Wood, Xerxes, Beto, Hoyland, Welbeck, Haaland. And then it goes up a little bit. You've got Jackson around the same area as Ollie Watkins, Jota, Trossard, and then at the top you've got Wissa, Bowen, and Dilap by far number one. That will change next season, in my opinion, because, as I said, he won't be playing in a counter-attacking team, so it doesn't really make much sense why that would happen anyway. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what else there is. It also speaks about the work rate off the ball. It speaks to the other side of Dilap's dual threat when his side has possession. This is highlighted in Dilap's skill corner profile, which I can show you as well, denoting his off-ball run types as a share of his total runs made. Most of the runs that he makes are runs ahead of the ball, 32%. He runs in behind opposition defenses 26% of the time. And he receives, he gets in a position where he wants to receive crosses 21% of the time. So that's interesting as well. It says, in truth, this is not dissimilar from what Chelsea already have in the form of Nicholas Jackson. The 23-year-old off-ball runs profile very similar to Dilap's, with his runs in behind in particular having two benefits. The first is they offer an option to receive the ball closer to goal, but they also pull opposition defensive lines back to make space for the likes of Cole Palmer to get in on the ball between opposition lines. While Jackson's rawness in front of goal has been used as a stick to beat him with at times, Chelsea are notably more potent with the Senegal international in the side, particularly when considering the piercing through balls that Palmer looks to play when he has runners ahead of him. It is worth noting that Dilap is still raw himself, but given his relatively young age, he arguably has a higher ceiling in his attacking threat when compared with Jackson. With Chelsea scoring the fewest goals among the first 5 sides to qualify, the fewest goals among the 5 sides to qualify for the Champions League, it's clear they need to add further firepower as they look to compete in Europe's top competition next season. And we'll see if Dilap is the answer. So that would be interesting. Well, we know, Stuart, that they're negotiating wages with Sancho. And if wages is the issue, then off you pop, as far as I'm concerned. We're not going to pay you 300 grand a week. Are you mad? Are you mad? No chance. Hey. So good. I hope you enjoy your time at Man United, as far as I'm concerned. That's what I hope. If you want anything like that, he's not worth it. He's not worth that type of money. He's just not good enough. That is the reality of Jadon Sancho. He's a good player. He's not a great player. And he's certainly not worth more than 150k a week in my eyes. So if you're giving him anything, like 120, I think that's fair. 120 grand. It's a great pay cut. And it's an affordable deal as well. You're not paying £1 million and you get a good player. But you don't get a great player. This is a player that can be replaced. And his numbers are not, they're not going to change the fabric of the history of Chelsea Football Club. We're not getting rid of 20 GA a season. We're not getting rid of our best player. We're not getting rid of one of our 5 best players. So I don't understand why people would be complaining too much about getting rid of Sancho if he's demanding that kind of wage. But obviously, if it's a haggle over an extra 10 grand or 20 grand, then I just think just do it, because he is a player that can help the squad. I agree with that. How will the premium membership work, do you think? Well, I think you'll probably just end up getting priority over certain things, and you'll obviously pay more for the privilege of that priority. So I don't know how it will work. I've never done it before. Daffyd says, I didn't want Dilap, but now he's here. We've got to give him a chance. Listen, I think he's a good player, mate. He's a good player. Not an amazing player, but he's a good player. I think he will improve us. He does improve us. He scored more goals than Nicholas Jackson, and he's playing for Ipswich. And that's impressive. And that shows that we need more goals in there. And I think you get an extra 15 at least goals. So I think that definitely helps us. I agree. I wouldn't give Sancho more than 200. Sell Sterling and maybe get Sancho back. Could work potentially. I agree. Yeah, I agree. There is no indication, Tim. We have no idea. I have no idea, to be honest with you. Chuck Sterling to Strasbourg, even if Saudi won't take him. I don't think Strasbourg will want him either, to be honest, even if we gave him to them for free. I mean, he has been rubbish for years now. This is not the first season he's been washed. He has been rubbish for a number of years. So unfortunately, not to write the guy off in terms of his career, but he's not exactly proving anyone wrong. He's been disappointing for a long time. So there you go. But anything can happen in life. Anything could happen. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Also, Chelsea are looking to get Moises Caicedo to sign a new contract. That is fantastic news. That's great news. Chelsea have already started working internally on a new deal to be proposed to Moises Caicedo. Talks to start soon, according to Fabrizio Romano. And listen, as far as I'm concerned, I think this is fantastic for the player. I think I think he's very happy at Chelsea. He's finally won a trophy. That always helps. We're coming off of a high. This is the best chance to try and get him to sign a new deal. Just like, to be honest with you, like anything, if you want to do things, if you want to really make change, I think in a lot of ways it's easier to do that when things are going well rather than when things are going badly. Let's just presume that we didn't get European football, we didn't get Champions League football, and we still had the price increases at Stamford Bridge. There would be outrage, absolute outrage. But the fact that we've got Champions League, people aren't really talking about it too much. And that's the truth. And I think, you've got to strike while the iron's hot. And that's the same with getting players to sign new deals. If you're happy with a player, sign them up and get them on a new deal ASAP, Rocky. Caicedo, by no stretch, in fact, no, by every stretch, has been one of our best players for a long, long time. He is proof that signing players that are ready-made and ready to go and have proven themselves at the highest level. And, you will have to give them, you will have to pay inflated transfer fees sometimes for those type of players. But he is proof that works, that style works. Enzo Fernandez is proof that works. Cucurella is proof that it works. Is it any surprise that those three players are our best players? Alongside Palmer, obviously, who we must say was a gem that came out of nowhere. So, yeah, I think it's great business. And you, of course, you'd want to hold on to a player like, oh, my God, you wouldn't want to get rid of him. 2 years at Chelsea, they've been 2 good years, and he's got better and better. He is going from strength to strength. And I've had so many conversations with people who, at one point, we were having a conversation about, comparing Caicedo to Kante, and certain people get offended. What? You can't compare him to Kante? And now they're actually open to the conversation. They're going, you know what? He actually has a little bit in common with Kante. There's some things he does better than Kante, and some things maybe not as good. Defensively, I don't think you can beat peak Kante. I really just don't think you can beat it. But on the ball, I think Caicedo has a lot of attributes that we would say are better than Kante. I think he's got better distribution. I think his passing range is better. I think he's better at shooting. He's almost as athletic, but he's not as athletic as Kante. He's a fighter. Defensively, he's solid. There's just a number of things that there is to love about the player. But yeah, I think it's a great deal for Chelsea if we can get it done. And I think, obviously Caicedo, I would be surprised if he's not happy, but we'll have to wait and see. Also, as well, a little bit more transfer news. Chelsea are weighing up an approach for Everton centre-back Jared Brathwaite, but Toffee's manager David Moyes is reluctant to sell him. This is according to Simon Jones of the Mail Sport. This is another player that I think is a decent player. He's a good player. He's been linked with Man United for a number of years. Good with his feet, very tall, good at winning aerial battles. He's a solid defender. But I will be honest in saying I would personally prefer Mark Guehi to Brathwaite. I think it's a bit of a 50-50. Some people would say the other side. And I haven't really got anything against that. But that's just my personal preference. I'd rather have Mark Guehi. I think he'd be a little bit cheaper. I think he is more experienced at the highest level. He's played for England in the Euros and was one of our better players. He's an FA Cup winner with Crystal Palace. And he knows what it means to play for Chelsea. He's a product of our academy, of our youth setup, and I just don't really see many negatives of signing Mark Guehi. I know people question some of his, his aerial ability, but I think he's a solid defender. I think he improves us a lot. I've been arguing for us to get 2 defenders because we're going to sell Disasi. Would potentially be open to selling Badiashile. And Fofana's not reliable. So then you've got who? Tosin and Colwell. those are your main two centre backs. So when you're playing Champions League, we've got an extra 2 games in that competition by default. We're not going to play 6 games in Europe. We'll play 8. And, there's a good chance that injuries will happen, especially if we compete for more domestic titles, which we haven't done this season, vis-a-vis the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup as well. So that's my thought on that. I mean, I've got nothing against Brathwaite. I say bring him in. No problem with me. But I would personally prefer Mark Gay. That would be a preference on my side. Big up to everyone that's watching. We've got just over 80 of you in the building. We've got 52 likes. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel as well if you want to keep up to date with everything that's going on. We're going to have plenty more news videos coming out regarding the club. Tomorrow there'll be another show at lunchtime, so stay tuned and jump on for that one. I'm looking forward to catching up with you all there. I'm going to round it out there. Appreciate everyone's time, and we will catch up